Alright, Alpha fam, let's do a quick market update. So, before we begin, I do want to tell you guys that nothing in this video is financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. This is just my independent thoughts and feelings on the market and my own analysis. Before we get started, if you can, please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate everybody's support. Now let's get into this market update today, guys. So, I know things don't look really good right now, guys. Bitcoin's been kind of in this free fall. It's got a lot of the market scared. Fear and greed is down to 10. And again, this can go two ways. Technically, Bitcoin still has till Sunday at 8 p.m. to close above this 50 in order to confirm the bull run. If it does not close above this 50 for 2 weeks in a row, this is when I'm probably going to start de-risking my bags, and I'm going to be looking for relief rallies to be able to offload into. The reason I say this is because, and even though we're starting to get a decent reaction last night off of Bitcoin, Bitcoin really needs to get some momentum to the upside, and it needs to push off this ground. The issue is, and we're finally getting evidence of this yesterday. So yesterday there was evidence that long-term sellers are finally stopping and they're slowing their pace at their selling. With that being said, this is an interesting level for a lot of people to be able to enter into. And I know a lot of people were also equally looking at this level due to us finally filling the CME gap. The CME gap was open for like over 200 days, guys. This is something that a lot of people thinking because we did get to close it, this will be a nice area to bounce. And $90,000 is a psychological level. If Bitcoin can hold it, it could move $10,000 within a week very fast, guys. So you can't also underestimate the power and the velocity of how quickly these markets can turn around. I've been in these markets for years, guys. I've seen it happen time and time again. I've had times where I thought things were cooked, and then the next day I wake up and your bags are up 20-30%. So with that being said, I want to show you guys some interesting things that I think not too many people have been talking about. We have at Alpha Syndicate have been identifying this for multiple days now. We still have this massive break below Bitcoin dominance. What does that tell us? It tells us that people aren't as scared to invest in risk assets as we might believe, because if this was the case, you've seen how this big candle wicked up when everybody got scared. Bitcoin's been free falling. On those liquidation days, guys, usually you'll see Bitcoin dominance rise, but we've actually gotten a break below the 50-day after 30 some odd days of being above it, and we've had multiple rejections, and I think we're going to get a continuation to the downside. I identified this bear flag weeks ago, this bear pendant, and I said, guys, if this thing breaks and does a bearish retest, we need to be targeting the next zone, which will be down here because of all the different confluence that's in this zone. And this is the zone that I've been looking to de-risk from. Essentially, when I thought that we would get closer to a cycle top, this would be a zone that would be interesting for me because there's a ton of confluence there, and we'll go over Bitcoin dominance and that on a separate video. With that being said, I also expected some relief because of where USDT dominance is at. You guys can see every time we've been in this zone, this cycle, guys, we've always rejected out of it aggressively, and that's usually what started the next set of runs. So if we can get some relief, let's say we are going into a bear market, we should at least get some relief back down before it makes its next move up. And this is typically bear market tops, or usually USDT dominance gets back above 8%. And this would be the natural course of actions if that's the case. Also, with this, looking at this, if we are going into a bear market, what I would be expecting is a bearish retest of the 50, a rejection, and then that's when we'll get the continuation down. In that zone, you're going to have an opportunity for your alts because the 50-day is going to come down. Bitcoin's going to rise up and it's going to reject. I talked about this in my video yesterday. This is your opportunity if you feel like you're too risk on and you're worried about not being able to hold your bags for 4 years. This could be an opportunity to de-risk. Also, this could also be an equal opportunity to be buying, because if you were to buy and you wanted to do this as a trade setup, once we get a confirmation, if we are going into a bear market, most of these are going to do the same thing. They're going to do a bearish retest. You can get in this trade and you can make, 20, 30, 40, 50% move within a few days if we are in fact going into a bear market. I think it's a little premature to call things yet, guys. And it's just because I've been around for so long and I've seen this kind of stuff happen, where I've been around this market where I thought things have just been, they're cooked. I just thought they were cooked, and things just absolutely turn around. All right. Never fade, what we have going on here for as far as adoption as well. I think honestly, what's been happening this week is we're following this. Futures this is S&P 500. If you look at Bitcoin, very similar price action, but even more so NASDAQ. Very similar price action, guys. And you can see when this started pulling down last night, that's what brought Bitcoin down with it. You see they're starting to move up. They're wanting to move Bitcoin up with it. Bitcoin looking like it's trying to make a breakout. I honestly am in the camp that now that everybody's bearish, you flipped everybody on the opposite side. The herd is usually wrong. I think they want to come sweep the liquidity up here one more time. I think they want to rinse these bears, and they're going to have to do it in a way where they make everybody think the bull run's still on. This way that nobody has the audacity or the confidence to take a short in that region. Just like before this actually started, you had a whole bunch of KOLs starting to say and flip bearish weeks ago. And I think they're doing this on the pretext because they're giving information from market makers and exchanges, because that's how they make their money online. So it's something to keep in the back of your mind, guys. There's a lot of psychological games that go on in crypto and in these markets. And this is nothing but a massive psychological game. And it's nothing but the transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. Warren Buffett says you buy the fear and you sell into the greed. And I'm in the camp that probably most people would do better if they bought when there was extreme fear, didn't do anything else, just bought then. And every time we got into extreme greed, that's when they sold. And they probably would outtrade and outperform 90% of the market, because people do allow their emotions to get the better of them. And rightfully so. When you have capital, you don't want to lose it. People definitely are going to get a little bit, antsy about that. With that being said, I have not given up on the potential chance for us to make a recovery, because I know exactly how these things can happen and how quickly they can. I remember back when the Trump tariffs happened, everybody was calling for a bear market. Everybody was. Now, I do understand the argument that even though during the reason why people stayed bullish was because we never broke below the 50. And I do understand that this isn't the best looking monthly candle on Bitcoin. But I also understand that this wasn't the best looking monthly candle either. So, to take it with a grain of salt, looking at prior cycles, looking at what we've done prior, this right here just screams out to me that, hey, we've been here before. We've been able to recover and make new all-time highs. So sometimes you have to kind of let things play themselves out. I also understand how the markets work. Nothing goes down in a straight line. Nothing goes up in a straight line. Prepare yourself to play defense. And if you start seeing things reject from critical levels, you can start marking these things off. So I'll give you one. If you see Bitcoin come between these levels and reject, this is a big indication that we're probably not going to make a continuation to the upside, because we've done another bearish retest, just like we did here. And even though we broke above it right here, you can see once we got back below it, bearish retest, bearish retest. I'm expecting a sweep of that. And we could even go a little higher than the 50 in the way that you're trying to determine whether this is going to be a sustainable move or not, is if when it comes back down, does it use it as support and then lift off? I'm in the camp, when we get a move up and we break above the 50 on the 4 hour, we want these moves to be aggressive, where there's a little bit of distance for that retest. We don't want them so close, because then the chances of breaking back down, like we did right here, you see how close we were? We were basically flirting with that, and then one red candle, and then that one red candle brought us back down. We attempted to do it again, rejected, and then we've been down since. And this is where we're at. Understanding this, these are things you need to be cognitive of if you're in positions and you're nervous because you can't or do not want to hold if we do go into a bear market. Do I think we go through an extended 3-4 year bear market? No. I think it's short-lived. I think next year, 2026, there's going to be a lot of bullish momentum for multiple things. Jerome Powell's getting replaced, stimulus checks, we're getting quantitative tightening stops on December 1st. Typically, 3 to 6 months later, we usually start easing. Don't forget that crypto's a liquidity sponge. It absorbs liquidity. When liquidity shrinks, crypto has a really hard time, moving up. And when liquidity is abundant, crypto absorbs it and moons. So, again, guys, keep your notifications on. If you're new to this channel, I really do appreciate you guys showing up here today. I really would like you guys to just please like, share, and subscribe. We are trying to build this channel. If you're interested in joining a group of entrepreneurs that are all working together to level up, both in investments and in your entrepreneurial journey, if you're looking for some mentorship and some coaching, there's a link in the bio, guys. Click on it, and I'll see you inside.